noticed how a song can just transport you back to a specific moment in time? Like you're suddenly right there again.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a time machine, but way cheaper and without all the complicated science. I can hear a track from my high school years, and suddenly I'm reliving everything, even the bad haircut I was sporting back then.
That's the beauty of music, right? Before we dive headfirst into this conversation, I want to officially welcome you all to the show. I'm Emma, and with me as always is Jake.
Hey everyone. And since Emma just mentioned high school haircuts, I think it's the perfect, if slightly embarrassing, segue into today's topic, talking about your favorite music, what it means to us, how we found it, and why it sticks.
So, Jake, let's start with a big question. When you say favorite music, your desert island can't live without it artist, who comes to mind first?
That's a tough one, but I have to go with a band called The National. They're an indie rock group, and their music just resonates with me on a deeply personal level. The lyrics feel like reading a really good, slightly sad novel.
I've heard a few of their tracks. Their sound is so distinct, that kind of brooding baritone vocal. What was the gateway song for you? The one that just hooked you?
It was Fake Empire. I was in university, feeling a bit lost and overwhelmed, and that song came on a random playlist. The piano intro is so simple but so profoundly melancholic. I just froze and listened to it on repeat for an hour.
That feeling of being completely stopped in your tracks by a melody is universal. For me, that artist is Nina Simone. Her voice isn't just a voice. It's an instrument that conveys a whole spectrum of human emotion in a single note.
Oh, she's a legend. Feeling Good, it's an absolute powerhouse. She takes what could be a simple song and transforms it into this defiant, soul-stirring anthem. You truly believe her when she sings it.
Exactly. The conviction is key. So, speaking of how we consume music, my discovery of Nina Simone was very tactile. I found a dusty vinyl record at my grandmother's house. It was a whole ritual, putting the needle on.
See, that's a world apart from my experience. I came of age with early MP3 players and file sharing. My discovery was digital. But that ritual you mentioned, putting on a record, is a mindful experience. You're intentionally listening, not just having it on in the background.
Mindful is the perfect word. It means being completely present and engaged in the moment. You can't easily skip a track on vinyl. You're committed to the album as a complete work of art. It's a relationship, not a fling.
A relationship, not a fling. I'm going to use that. That completely reframes how I see album-oriented bands. Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, for instance. You have to listen to the whole thing in one go to get the full emotional punch.
Right. Now, let's get a bit more personal. Beyond the artist, do you associate a favorite song with a very specific person? Music often becomes the soundtrack to our relationships.
Definitely. My dad is a massive Bruce Springsteen fan. Born to Run was the anthem of every single road trip we took when I was a kid. I can't hear that opening snare drum and saxophone without picturing the open highway and my dad tapping the steering wheel.
That's a beautiful image. It's an inherited love, it seems. Did you appreciate The Boss as a child, or did it take some time to grow on you?
It absolutely had to grow on me. At age 10, I just found it loud. But by 16, the themes of wanting to escape and find something bigger completely resonated. It was like a switch flipped, and I finally understood what he was singing about.
There's a term for that sudden understanding, an epiphany, a moment of sudden realization. My musical epiphany related to a person involves a friend who introduced me to Joni Mitchell. We'd sit in her bedroom and she'd analyze the poetry of A Case of You.
Joni Mitchell is a poet first and a musician second. Her lyrics are dense and full of imagery. Analyzing them with a friend sounds like a wonderful bonding experience. It's like deciphering a complex, beautiful code together.
That's exactly what it was. It wasn't just passive listening, it was an active discussion. It really cemented our friendship. So, on the flip side, is there a genre of music that you absolutely cannot stand? A guilty displeasure, if you will?
Guilty displeasure. I like that. Honestly, I struggle with most mainstream modern country music. The overly polished production and the cliché lyrics about trucks and cut-off jeans just don't do it for me. It feels manufactured.
I can see that. It lacks a certain rawness for you. For me, it's heavy metal with unintelligible screaming vocals. I can appreciate the musical technicality, but it emotionally drains me. It raises my anxiety instead of relieving it.
See, and that's where it gets fascinating. For a metal fan, those very same screaming vocals are a cathartic release of anger and tension. It's a catharsis, a purification of emotions. What stresses you out is exactly what de-stresses them. It's entirely subjective.
That's a brilliant point. The intention behind the music and the listener's reception are two very different things. This makes me think about live music. Does witnessing it live change your perception of a band or genre you were on the fence about?
100%. I was once dragged to a jazz fusion concert. I went in completely skeptical, thinking it would be self-indulgent noodling. But watching the musicians interact, the improvisation, the sheer technical skill, it was mesmerizing. I left a convert.
Live music has a physicality you don't get from a recording. You feel the bass drum in your chest. Speaking of converts, is there an album you've played so many times you've practically worn it out, even if it's a digital file?
If streams could wear out, Radiohead's In Rainbows would have disintegrated for me. That album is a masterpiece from start to finish. The layered instrumentation is so intricate, I hear something new every single time I listen.
In Rainbows is a phenomenal pick. It's warm and experimental at the same time. For me, that No Skips album is Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. It's not just a collection of songs. It's a cohesive, politically charged narrative that's still sadly relevant today.
That album is a masterclass in using popular music as a vehicle for a serious message, without sacrificing groove. The way the tracks blend into each other creates a seamless flow of consciousness. It demands your attention from the first needle drop.
And that flow of consciousness, that continuous, uninterrupted thought pattern is exactly it. Now, changing the tempo a bit, what about music's role in heartbreak? We all have that one devastating album, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. Mine is Bon Iver's For Emma Forever Ago. The story behind it is the stuff of legend. A guy retreats to a cabin in the woods to get over a breakup and creates this hauntingly beautiful, falsetto-heavy masterpiece. It's the soundtrack to solitude.
It's the definition of art born from pain. You can hear the isolation in every chord and the raw vulnerability in his voice. It's so intimate, it almost feels like you're intruding on a private moment.
Exactly. It's visceral, meaning it hits you at a deep gut level. You don't just hear it, you feel it in your bones. It turns heartbreak into something strangely beautiful and survivable.
Beautifully put. On a much lighter note, to pull us out of that beautifully sad cabin in the woods, what's your go-to pump-up song? The track that gets you psyched up before a big event.
Easy. Lose Yourself by Eminem. It's a cliche for a reason. The building tension in the intro, the raw determination in his voice, it's impossible to not feel like you can conquer the world after listening to it. It's pure motivational adrenaline.
Mom's spaghetti and all. It is the quintessential anthem for seizing an opportunity. For me, it's I Wanna Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston. Pure, unadulterated joy. It's physically impossible for me to stand still.
Now that is a vocal masterclass disguised as a pop song. Her voice was just a force of nature. It's the kind of song that fills the dance floor at a wedding in 3 seconds flat. No one is too cool for Whitney.
Absolutely nobody. We've talked about the emotional and physical connection to music. Let's dig into the lyrics. Do you have a favorite line, a piece of poetry from a song that just stops you in your tracks every time you hear it?
There's a line from a Leonard Cohen song, Anthem. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. It's a profound statement about imperfection, finding beauty in the brokenness. It's a philosophy for living more than just a lyric.
That one gives me chills. It's so simple yet deeply philosophical. For me, it's from Fleetwood Mac's Landslide. I've been afraid of changing because I've built my life around you. The honesty about fear and dependency is staggering.
Stevie Nicks at her most vulnerable. It captures a specific kind of existential crisis that's universal. The fear of the unknown and letting go of what you know, even if it no longer serves you, is gut-wrenching. A single line can hold a novel's worth of emotion.
A novel's worth of emotion. That's exactly right. This lyrical depth is often what separates a good song from a great one. Now think about the musical pilgrimages we do. Have you ever traveled a significant distance specifically to see a concert?
I once drove 8 hours through a blizzard to see Arcade Fire. It was an incredibly reckless decision on paper, but the show felt like a religious revival. The shared experience with a crowd who loved that band just as much as I did was electric.
Wow, a blizzard? That's dedication, or maybe just youthful insanity. But I completely get it. I flew across the country to see Beyoncé's homecoming performance. The cultural significance and sheer spectacle were absolutely worth every penny.
That wasn't just a concert, it was a cultural landmark. The precision of the marching band and the choreography was world-class. It's those once-in-a-blue-moon events, meaning very rare, that justify the extreme effort and expense.
Exactly, a truly rare occurrence. So we know the artists we love, but how do we feel about the one-hit wonders? Those artists who achieved brief, blazing glory with a single perfect track, then vanished.
I have a soft spot for them. They capture a specific sound of a specific summer. Take Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba, for instance. It's objectively ridiculous, but it's an undeniably brilliant, anarchic pub sing-along. You can't deny its power to unite a crowd.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. It's a lyrical mantra of resilience. It's not high art, but it serves a perfect purpose. It's a shot of pure, uncomplicated dopamine. Sometimes that's all you need from a song.
Exactly. It's a dopamine hit, a quick burst of pleasure. Not everything needs to be a deep, introspective dive into your soul. Sometimes you just need a 4-minute escape that makes you feel stupidly happy and nothing more.
Right. It's about context and balance. That leads me to a modern dilemma. The playlist versus the album. We curate everything now, picking and choosing tracks. Do you think this has killed the art of the deep album cut?
It's a double-edged sword. The playlist is fantastic for discovery and setting a mood, a vibe, precisely. But we've definitely lost the art of the deep cut, the non-single album track that slowly reveals its brilliance over 10 listens, not one.
I love that term, a deep cut. It's the treasure you have to dig for. The algorithm rarely serves you a challenging 8-minute song. It feeds you a steady diet of easily digestible hooks. We have to be more intentional searchers now.
Intentional is the key word here. We've become passive consumers of algorithmic playlists. The joy of buying a physical CD for 2 singles and then discovering the album was filled with better, hidden masterpieces is a lost feeling for a generation.
A whole generation has missed that joy. It was a gamble that often paid off. So if you could have the singing voice of any musician, past or present, for just 24 hours, who would you choose to be your vocal doppelganger?
Oh, without a doubt, Freddie Mercury. His range, his sheer power, his unbelievable control. He could sing a rock anthem, an operatic piece, and a vaudeville track with equal brilliance. I'd spend the day just belting Queen songs in the shower.
That would be a day well spent. I'd pick Aretha Franklin, the queen of soul for a reason. To be able to infuse a simple melody with that much gospel-hued soul and effortless power, I'd just be demanding respect from everyone I met, all day long.
You could demand whatever you want with that voice. Both Freddie and Aretha possessed an instrument that wasn't just technically perfect, it was charged with an indescribable, almost spiritual charisma. You can't teach that. It's a gift.
A gift is the right word. This connects back to the whole idea of a song feeling haunting, when it stays with you long after it's over. Do you have a track that's so beautiful it's genuinely unsettling? A musical ghost?
Definitely. Pyramid Song by Radiohead. It has this swirling, liquid piano line and a rhythm that feels like it's both floating and sinking at the same time. It's not sad exactly, it's otherworldly. It leaves you in a strange, contemplative trance.
Otherworldly is the perfect descriptor. It doesn't feel of this planet. For me, it's the Adagio for Strings by Samuel Barber. It's a piece of classical music that is pure, distilled sorrow. It's often used in films at the most tragic moment, and it just wrecks you every time.
That's a piece of music that physically hurts to listen to. It builds a tension that never truly resolves, just aches. It's a testament to the power of composition. No words at all, just strings, yet it communicates a grief language can't even touch.
No lyrics, just pure emotion. It proves music is a language all its own. Okay, before we get completely emotionally wrecked, let's talk about a musical trend you wish would make a comeback. What's your nostalgic wish?
I'd love to see the proper concept album come back into the mainstream. A record with a narrative from start to finish, where you set aside an hour with headphones and just get lost in a world. It feels like we've lost that long-form attention span in pop.
That's a great point, fighting against the skip culture. For my nostalgic comeback, I'm going to say the unpolished, imperfect vocal. Everything is so auto-tuned and pitch-corrected now. I miss the crack in a voice, the slight rasp, the human flaw.
Yes, the human flaw is exactly it. Those tiny imperfections are what make a vocal recognizable and relatable. When everything is digitally smoothed over, you lose the character. It's like filtering a photo so much that the person's soul disappears from their eyes.
What a perfect metaphor. Soul in the eyes. The flaw is the fingerprint of the artist. So, to wrap our heads around a cultural moment, was there a music video that had a profound impact on you? A visual that perfectly elevated the song?
Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer. I saw it as a kid, and my mind was completely blown. The stop-motion animation, the dancing raw chickens, it was bizarre, hilarious, and wildly creative. It showed me a music video could be high art, not just a performance clip.
That video is a masterclass in practical effects and pure imagination. For me, it's Johnny Cash's video for Hurt. A fragile, elderly man reflecting on a life of glory and regret in a closed museum of his own past. It's devastating. The video is the song's eulogy.
You can't watch that video and not get choked up. It's not just a song anymore, it's a visual epitaph. It's a prime example of a cover song completely recontextualizing and arguably overshadowing the brilliant original by 9 Inch Nails. It's his song now.
It's a complete act of artistic reclamation. He took it and made it his own final statement. All right, let's switch gears to a lighter what if. If you could have any band from any era play at your birthday party, who's getting the gig?
I'm gonna say Talking Heads, circa their Stop Making Sense era. The energy in that concert film is just ridiculous, pure art funk chaos. David Byrne in his giant suit, come on, no one would stop dancing. It would be the party of the century.
That would be an unparalleled dance party. I'd choose Prince in the Revolution. I want the full Purple Rain experience. The doves crying, the guitar solos, the raw sensuality. He was the ultimate showman. I would demand an encore of about 3 hours.
Prince was a force of nature, and neither of those acts would require any sort of warm-up DJ. You just drop the needle and the floor would erupt. Okay, last question from me in this deep dive. What does your favorite music actually say about you?
Wow, turning the mirror on me. I think my eclectic taste, from 60s soul to 90s grunge to classical, says I'm curious and I value emotional authenticity over a specific aesthetic. I want to feel something real, whether it's joy or melancholy.
That tracks perfectly with your personality. For me, my leaning towards lyrically dense, slightly melancholy indie rock probably says I'm an overthinker who finds a strange sort of comfort in introspection. It's not a party inside my head, it's a library.
A library with a really good, moody soundtrack. That's a fantastic and honest self-assessment. So if a listener wants to truly connect with music on a deeper level, what's your one practical piece of advice, Jake?
I would say put the playlist on shuffle and skip, but instead commit to one full album a week. No distractions, just you and the music. Listen to it while doing nothing else. Treat it like reading a book, not scrolling social media. That's where the magic is.
Treat it like reading a book. That's the perfect advice to end this conversation on. It's about giving a piece of art your complete, undivided attention. That's when a simple collection of songs can transform into a lifelong companion.
Beautifully said. Music is a companion that never asks questions and always understands. To all our listeners, we hope you dig out a favorite album this week. Put your phone away and just let it play. You might be surprised by what you rediscover.
That's a perfect invitation. A huge thank you to everyone who joined us today on this journey through melodies and memories. From my grandmother's vinyl to your high school road trips, music is the invisible thread that connects us all.
It's the thread and the tapestry at the same time. Thanks for hanging out with us. Put that album on and we'll catch you next time. Until then, keep listening and keep feeling the music.